Good morning, everyone. So today I'm going to do an experiment. I buy these 12-inch hook and loop sandpaper discs from Sand. They're awesome. They work great. But I went to go order some because we've been going through these like crazy because with the amount of work and then the amount of new product that's coming out, and Aaron's making signs, and this sander is like it's doing some work. And so the sandpaper, we're going through it a lot faster than I used to before when it was just making certain items. So anyways, because we've been going through it so fast, I went to go reorder, and on Sand it says that we probably won't get it out for like 2 weeks or something like that. So I'm like, crap. I have thicker grit, heavier grits, but those will just chow through my my plywood and my wood pieces. It'll take off too much. So the sandpaper that I really like is the 180 grit. I have all different sorts of grits, like 80 grit, 100 grit, but I really like the 180. That one seems to give the finish just, it's perfect for paint, stain, all that. And you can go down to 150 or whatever. But so anyways, because I've been going through it so fast, I went to order some on Amazon, and on Amazon too is like won't get it till February, I think like 15th, and that's, gosh, that's like almost like 25 days away. So I need some like now. But what they did have on Amazon is the PSA disc, which I can't stand those discs. Those are just those are these guys. And if you've ever seen my sander, I've converted my sander from hook and loop. Oh, I'm sorry, from PSA to hook and loop, which I love hook and loop. I have a video on YouTube too if you want to go check that out, and then subscribe. That'd be pretty awesome. So here's my 180 grit sandpaper. So what I'm going to do, the experiment, is I've been saving these, and I've thrown so many of these away. So anyway, this one still has a little bit of grit, but it's pretty bald around the edges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to align this up here so that this sticks to my 12-inch disc here, which it looks like it's a little bit smaller, which that's okay. And we're going to see if that will work. And I'm actually not sad that it's just a little bit smaller. If you kind of see, it's not really 12 inches. It's probably just for the wheel, that, perfectly for the wheel. So let me first off clean this backing off here, and actually have some wood pieces on here. So the first thing we're going to do is clean this off, because when I adhere it to the Velcro on the disc, I don't want it to have any bumps or anything. So what we're going to do here is, first off, it looks like we're good here. So I thought if it was like perfect, I'd have to get, a piece of tape here and then slowly peel it back and make sure that it was aligned. But this I can kind of eyeball just to make sure that it stays on there. So we're going to do that, and then let me get a J roller. So I got a J roller here, and that's all dirty. So let's blow that off. Okay. And we're dirty again. So I have a wood shop. If you didn't know, that's what I do. So we'll see if this works. So it's pretty sticky. Yeah, it's pretty sticky, which is what I wanted. So I'm just going to line this up on top here. I'm going to go from the middle and just go towards the out, kind of like you're putting a screen protector on your phone, which that sucks. All right, now we're going to use the J roller to apply pressure to stick this on here. Especially on the edges, because I go in from the left to the right, because the disc, it spins counterclockwise. So I like to feed it in from the left side, and then I work my way out. So if you're working your way out towards the right, that is moving up. So you want to make sure that you're supporting your material so that it doesn't flip up, if that makes sense. Which, go ahead and try that on a disc sander one time, and it'll make the back of your hair stand up that you didn't support the piece. That's scary. Okay, so it looks like I think we're pretty good. Yeah, and the good thing too is that this sandpaper, the hook and loop, has a little bit of grip that hopefully that glue or whatever adhesive that's on that PSA disc on the back, whatever that stickiness is, it really sticks on there. So let's try this out. And the reason I got these is because these were available, but also the PSA discs are a lot cheaper. Just they're horrible, but I know a lot of like people like it. You know, you can heat it up, but honestly, that doesn't sound fun. I'd rather peel it off, put a new grid on there, and if I want to reuse the hook and loop, I can put it back on. And you can't do that with a PSA disc. It's a one and done. You're done. And also the headache of taking that crap off with the heat gun, and sometimes it sticks on there and it doesn't want to come off. That doesn't sound fun, and that's exactly why I changed my disc sander. So we're going to go to the disc sander. We're going to put this in and see if this works. So I'm going to flip it around. Hopefully it's not too wobbly. And I'm recording on my phone, so if you see it, that's what it is. Put my flip cart here and power's off. I'm going to vacuum all the gunk off and get my mask on here. It's going to get loud, but I'll try to mute it on your side, or at least make the volume go down. Alright, that's clean. Now let's get a impact driver with the back two screws. And then we're just going to undo the little knobs, and then the tabletop will be able to come off. If you follow any of my videos, you've probably seen lately, I put some threaded holes in here so that I could attach my edge sander jig on top of this, so that I could have a longer workpiece. Or work surface, not workpiece. I can have longer workpieces. That's why I did it. So let's take off these screws. These are Phillips, but also in the middle you can do square drive. So I like square drive a lot better than Phillips. So now we're going to clean this up. Put the mask on. And this is why I say I like hook and loop, because you can't do this with the PSA. And I don't care how fast you say your heat gun will take it off, it will not take it off as quick as that. So let's clean up the Velcro pad. Sometimes I use a file brush scraper. It has really fine little tiny brush tips, and that does a good job. If it kind of gets gummed up on the edges here, you can kind of just comb it out just like so. Sometimes I'll get sandpaper cleaner, the little rubber pieces on the inside there, but that's not a big deal. So just let's clean this up. And we're ready for our experimental piece here. So let's put that on here. Seems good. Let's J-roll it. I usually don't use a J-roller. I usually use a sandpaper cleaner and just push it on. But since it's out already, let's go ahead and get that stuck really well to the disc. Alright, that should be good. Usually I'll use this and do the same exact thing, just put pressure from the middle out. Alright, now that's it. Let's go ahead and put our top back on. Or actually, let's put the dust collection cover on. And the screws. And the good thing too is it kind of gives you a little bit of wiggle room, so if if you're adding the sandpaper on here, you can kind of you can kind of go out just a tad bit, so it'll allow allowance for that disc to spin, but it won't be, hopefully not scuffing up your table. If it does just a little bit though, it's not too bad. It's aluminum, so it'll sand pretty easy, so that's not bad. I tell you what, this is the sweetest Harbor Freight gem that I've ever bought. A lot of people like to rag on Harbor Freight, and it's not. But honestly, man, it's like it reminds me of like people that, if you've ever been on vacation, or even like in the U.S. you'll go and you'll see like street vendors, and you see like those guys or women, artists is what I call them, but they'll be making like paintings out of like license plates and different murals and things like that, out of like just random stuff like cups, and and then within like 10 minutes or so, then they have like this masterpiece of and you're like, dude, you just used like a pop can and like a leaf and a crinkled up paper towel, and you made that. It's unbelievable. So that's what I figure with like Harbor Freight tools is like, yeah, you could look at it like it's a piece of crap or it's just something simplistic, but it's the person that's using it that can make something like a masterpiece. So just remember that as you're judging other people, as you see their tools or whatever. It's like the scripture says, he without sin cast the first stone. So I know that there's people that like to rag on stuff, and that irritates me, but anywho, so now we're just checking to make sure that we're square. That's where the knob comes in handy. I did have screws in there, but I really like the knob. The knob is, I think it allows me to kind of dial it in really nicely. So now we're gonna tighten up the screws on the back. Don't get crazy though, because I am using an impact driver, so you don't want to be too crazy. That's good right there. And the table's solid. And the good thing too is I'm looking at this right here, and it looks like I have, I'd say like a good 1/8 of an inch or so of movement. So it's the and I could probably, once this sandpaper right here goes out, I can probably put another one on top of this. But let's see if this works. Pretty excited about it. Let's put our tools on first. Yeah, because that PSA is way cheaper than the hook and loop, and I can get a lot more. I can get like, this one's from Amazon. I got like 10 discs for like $12 or something like that. And if usually when I get them online from like TwoSand or other companies, it's like 5 discs, or sometimes it's just 1 disc for like $20. So if you keep your disc clean, it'll last a lot longer. So we'll see. So I run my own business, and so the only way that I've ever been able to make it is by trying things. And if it messes up, or it's okay. Like I don't like mistakes, but if you keep trying, and you just keep trying and not giving up, and trying and trying and trying, eventually you're going to figure it out. So maybe this isn't the solution, but it's worth a try. And having that type of optimism in anything is what will make you, not make you, I guess that's what will make you. Yeah. All right, so full face respirator. Let's get the dust collection on. Let's get the fan on my back so that all that dust is going out there, and then I'll get the exhaust fan on out here, and it'll get loud, and I'll try to minimize the noise. We'll see. It might be loud, so let's go. So I'm going to first turn it on without the dust collection just to see if the disc is good. We're good to go. I'm going to have my full face on just in case the disc thinks that it needs to fly off. Just protection. Nothing wrong with that. So I'll put my dust collector connected. Turn it on. Sounds good. Let's try it.